This is Standing Watch. And now, Evangelist Norbert Link.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to our Standing Watch program. The Democratic Convention has just ended, and I'd like to focus on a few highlights. Well, Michelle Obama's speech was well received by Democrats, but Bill Clinton's speech was not that much. It says in the headlines, "Impeached President slams impeached President." And here's a comment by left-wing comedian Stephen Colbert, who said, "I don't think Bill Clinton gets to lecture anyone on what should happen in the Oval Office. Those in glass houses should not be allowed near the interns." In addition, left-wing or quote-unquote progressive Democrats and Sanders supporters are not happy with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Deutsche Welle reported on August 19. When it was revealed that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would only get 1 minute to speak, progressive Democrats were outraged. And then the article continued, "The Democratic National Convention, which was supposed to unite the party, has become another point of contention." The Week, which is a left liberal magazine, published the following opinion piece on August 20. Barack Obama delivered an incredible speech. In that respect, Harris was in an impossible position. If she had gone first, her disjointed speech, delivered in a tone of phony overacting, would have been largely forgotten by the morning. Obama really was that good, and Harris really was that bad. It's pretty much agreed upon that Harris flopped big time. I'm not too sure, though, that Obama's speech was that incredible. He spent much time attacking Donald Trump and what else is new, but he broke tradition by violating an unwritten law that a former president is not to publicly attack a sitting president. But mainly the question arose, why would anybody vote for Joe Biden based on what Mr. Obama said? Now, at the end of the convention, Biden spoke. And here the Week again wrote on August 20, "Joe Biden's presidential nomination acceptance speech is being hailed as a career best, even by his critics. And perhaps no praise was more surprising on Thursday night than that being directed at him on Fox News. Anchor Chris Wallace called Biden's last moment enormously effective. Commentator Brett Hume also praised Biden's speech, calling it very good and delivered with force and clarity. His colleague, Donna Perino, stated the view and shared the view, saying that Biden just hit a home run. I think if he looks back, he's got to say that was probably the best speech of his life." Karl Rove added that Biden's speech was an excellent end to the convention, saying it was a very good speech. Now, I listened to the speech live because I figured I want to hear myself what is being said, and I jotted down some notes. So the question is, what did Biden actually say in the speech? Now, he spoke on light versus darkness. Light being Biden, darkness, of course, being Trump. He spoke on the perfect storm of 4 crises: climate change, the pandemic, the financial situation, other things. And he said he's going to fight all of those. He said that regarding the coronavirus, no miracle is coming. One time he used God's name in vain. And he also said this: "I will always have the strength which can only come from family." Now, I thought our strength can only come from God. And then he repeated his earlier plea for a nationwide mask mandate. He didn't say it in the speech yesterday, but he spoke earlier about maybe 6 months of having to wear masks. He praised Kamala Harris. And of course, we all may recall the vicious attacks of Kamala Harris towards Biden during the debate. But now everything is forgotten. That's politics. First you fight each other like the greatest enemies, and now you are the greatest friends. That's why you cannot trust politicians. That's why politics is such a dirty, rotten business. But Biden didn't say anything yesterday about China, about the Middle East, about Israel, about Europe, about the violent protests in the USA. He made one passing comment regarding standing with our allies and standing up to Russia. Now that was the Democratic convention. The other speeches were mainly forgettable insofar as substance, contents was concerned. They all concentrated on blaming Trump for just about everything, especially for the coronavirus. But I wondered whether they had neglected to mention willfully and intentionally the fact that many of their own people were responsible for the financial and economic fiasco we are experiencing right now. I'm talking about left-wing Democratic governors who locked down their states and brought many people and many businesses to financial ruin. Now, that was never mentioned at all. There's an interesting contrast, and this contrast was pointed out earlier by Breitbart on August 16 when they said the following. South Dakota turned down extra federal unemployment aid Friday due to the high rate of job recovery in the state. Governor Kristi Noem stated, South Dakota's economy, having never been shut down, has recovered nearly 80% of our job losses. And many, many businesses are looking to relocate to South Dakota because of the decisions we made during the pandemic. And these decisions were no lockdown, no mandated masks, no mandated social distancing. And South Dakota is one of the states, perhaps the state, with the lowest number of coronavirus cases. Now, if other American states would have followed that example, we would not be in the terrible situation we are in as a country today. But looking at the flip side of the coin, Donald Trump is doing a lot to hurt himself. He makes some outrageous suggestions. Rolling Stone wrote on August 17 that Trump said that he will seek a third term if he wins re-election. During a rally in Wisconsin, the president told a cheering crowd that he deserves 8 additional years in office because his campaign was spied on in 2016. Now he must know that constitutionally that could never happen, not based on what he is saying. And then he also said on August 18 that the election may have to be done again if universal mail-in voting is introduced. Now he must know that that could never happen either. But what I personally felt very troubling is a comment he made on August 17, according to The Week. It says the president also joked, the coronavirus pandemic was God testing me to rebuild the US economy a second time. Now, even if it's meant to be a joke, there are things you don't joke about, especially if it involves God. You may recall Donald Trump at one time standing there in front of the journalists, raising his hands, looking up to heaven and saying, I am the anointed. Now, these are things which are dangerous. Donald Trump is picking the wrong fights. Fox News commentator Brit Hume recently said, he is all over the place. He is commenting on everything, rather than concentrating on what's important. What are the big and important issues? Now, one of the very important issues could have been that peace deal in the Middle East, which was recently announced. But that is turning into a complete and utter failure and disaster. Of course, Iran is against it, the Palestinians are against it, Hamas is against it, But also Turkey is against it, strongly against it. Turkey, a NATO member. The idea was, okay, well, if we have this deal now between Israel and the Arabs and the United States, others will join. Saudi Arabia might join. Now, Saudi Arabia just said, no, we're not going to join, unless Israel is agreeable to a two-state solution, which, of course, Israel is not agreeable to. And then Trump and Kushner both said very strongly, annexation of West Bank territory is off the table, more than off the table. And Netanyahu equally strongly said, no, it's not off the table at all. Now, Netanyahu knows that he has to take that position because he is fighting for his political survival, because he has gotten a lot of flack from the right wing in his own government and the opposition, as well as from the settlers. More than 600,000 settlers have stated that Netanyahu has betrayed them. And so he is saying very clearly, no, it's not off the table. And ministers in his own government are saying very clearly now, annexation is going to take place. And once this deal, this Middle Eastern peace deal, is falling apart, which it will, then Washington might very well give the green light for that annexation. I don't expect much of the Republican convention, which is going to occur next week. I had not expected much of the Democratic convention either. To me, all these conventions, those speeches, those debates, this political maneuvering, it's all a waste of time. It's all a waste of money. And your vote, if you do vote in the upcoming election, is also a complete total waste of time and effort if you understand the truth. Now, we have titled this program today that Trump will stay in office. And why? Why will he, in light of everything I've said so far? Well, this is what we did say in our update 816, dated January 26, 2018. As our longtime readers and our listeners know, we stated our belief that Donald Trump would become the Republican presidential candidate when he announced his run for presidency, and also that he would become the next US president. Many scoffed at our stance at the time, claiming this would never happen. We have also stated our firm belief that Donald Trump will be re-elected in 2020 if the USA will have elections in 2020. All of this is based on our understanding of biblical prophecy, not on opinion polls or human reasoning. Now, mind you, we wrote that in January 26, 2018. And on March 27, 2019, we published a Standing Watch program titled, Does President Trump Fulfill a Providential Role, or a Preordained Role, we said. And the answer was yes, he does. Now, how can we be so sure? Well, one reason, not the only one, by far not the only one, but one reason is the fact that a third temple is going to be built in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount in the very near future. And that Donald Trump will have a role to play in that regard. To let you know more about what is prophesied in this respect, we have prepared a free booklet, The Fall and Rise of the Jewish People. This booklet will open your eyes as what the Bible has to say about prophecies which are going to be fulfilled very soon. So please ask for a free copy. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Norbert Link for the Standing Watch program.
Standing Watch is a presentation by The Church of the Eternal God, P.O. Box 270519, San Diego, California 92198. More information is also available at our website, eternalgod.org.